Hey, ladies and gentlemen,
You
boys,
go, boy.
children of all ages, have we got a hot show for you tonight? Live from two apartments, one in Cambridge, one in Brookline, courtesy
Wow.
of Julia Productions. You saw them 4 weeks ago hosting Ray's birthday special with Ray's personal tunesmith, DJ Jazzy Jasper, and his creative yet unusual family. And they're here for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Anything Goes with Larry and Ray. Well,
Right now, across Cambridge and Brookline, there are at least 5 or 6 hands clapping.
at least, perhaps.
Probably on the same person.
Yeah, so this is a virtual lockdown show, is it not?
Oh, it's lockdown, all right. I feel quite locked. You know, I went back to work this week. I was always working, as you know.
Okay, before you do that, though, let me just make one very brief announcement.
Yeah. Go ahead. I got to get my head together.
This is the season 4 opener. Grand spectacular premiere. See, we
a
have
lot of pressure.
Seasons, a lot of negotiation, as you know, behind the scenes. You were negotiating, and I just wanted to remind you that the concept of negotiating is to get more.
Well, I did negotiate with the people at CCTV. This is what, our 4th season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the negotiation was, if we don't suck, they'll let us stay on the air from one more season. There's no money involved except for the money we give them.
I thought, they said if you work for 3 years, you'll finally get paid on the 4th year. That was not the original.
Well, a lot of times, Larry, in life, things don't work out the way you plan. Sometimes negotiations kind of break down. There's a lot of vagaries and ins and outs and what have you. So let me tell you about show business when you have time. All right, maybe another show.
You're telling me that you blew it. Is that what you're telling me?
All right, I overslept and I missed the appointment. You're right, I'm wrong.
All right,
but they're still letting us on the air. So
all right, that's true. For a small stipend, we do get an annual privilege, so we'll take it.
And I do have my part-time job, which is selling pencils in Harvard Square.
Not to mention designing mugs.
I did very well because I was immersed. I'll tell you about the rally in a few minutes. Everybody's involved with the protest, of course, and I sold a lot of pencils that day, actually.
Yeah, by the way, you're a little too close to the screen, just so you know.
How far do you want me to back up?
I was thinking Cleveland.
All right, very good. It's pretty hot under these lights. So be that as it may. What were we talking about?
You were going to tell us about you just got back to work. You've been remote.
Yeah, I've been remote. I've been working at home. I've been working every day, of course, but I've been working at home Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yes.
Now, sort of last week, I went back to work every day, and this is Tuesday, right?
I believe it is.
I feel like it's Friday. I'm pretty spent, which is pretty bad. I think my body's getting used to actually getting in the car, commuting to and from. Yeah. And getting back to reality is not very easy. You should try it sometime, but it's
reality bites.
There's nothing there for us.
Yeah.
I'd rather immerse in the show.
I hear you on that. You can.
By the way, your lighting's not bad, but the left side is your left side is a little light.
Shiny.
Do you have a curtain in the room?
I have a curtain, but it's not opaque. You know what?
It's not opaque?
I could go get an opaque curtain. As I meant to do that. You want to talk to me for a little while, and I'll get the opaque curtain?
All right. Where is there an opaque curtain store? Like where do you get?
You know what? It would be too much of a disruption.
Yeah, it will be. You're very regimented.
Let's just hope the sun goes behind a cloud, and we'll be fine.
All right, fine. People know who you are.
Great reminder for next time. I appreciate that. Yeah. When we actually have a guest.
Well, hey, hopefully we'll be back in our posh Cambridge studios within a few weeks. But
you think so? No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'll be comfortable. You could go to the studio, quite frankly, and I could still work from the comfort of my bathrobe.
Yeah, we probably have to sanitize the studio, much like they do after we do each show anyway, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, there's really no difference there.
Yeah, so you look pretty comfortable though.
They're taking your temperature every day? How does that happen?
Yes, at work, whether it's the main office or one of the residential homes that I help oversee, it's protocol to take your temperature, and I believe the cutoff is literally 100 degrees even. So if you're 100 degrees or more, you got to get in the car, turn around, and go home. That's it.
100 degrees is kind of
100
high.
degrees. Yeah.
I think I feel a little feverish at 100, to be frank. I run cold, by the way.
Yeah. And they use those. We have those beautiful infrareds, where you don't even have to touch the person.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're in the same county, you can take somebody's temperature. Like I could take your temperature now if I had one of those from Cambridge to Brookline.
Right through the unit here, you could get me.
Yeah, it's a lot of technology, but it can be done.
Is it like a laser? What is it exactly?
It's like a laser beam. Yes, exactly. No, I don't know. It's some infrared, something about a way. I don't know. But it's good. They're nice, touchless thermometers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You're starting to live a touchless society, are you not?
Totally touchless.
Yeah. People
remember,
come by the apartment, but there's no touching. I understand.
No touching. Makes for a longer relationship. Yeah. Anything about the stores opening up in the Brookline area or dining outdoors, perhaps, in your local establishments?
I haven't really. So, as you know, I'm risk averse in a big way, and I don't really. I don't leave the house. Well, I do take Chen for a walk, as you know.
Your lovely dog, Chen.
Market weekly. No one's really going back to the. I don't really think so, but I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I know. Do you even want to go back to? Suppose they had outdoor dining, right, at a local place in Brookline?
No, I would not go at this point. It's too soon.
What's the point?
Risk. You don't. Even though you can go out, you should still exert caution, of course.
Right. Do you think the establishment's going to jack up the prices or no?
No, I think if anything,
they're pretty high anyway.
I don't know. I think they want to kind of do whatever it takes to kind of get your business and keep.
Do you mind if I tell you about what I did venture out to do last week? Is to get my hair cut.
Oh, I want to hear about your haircut. I don't think
it's actually a very relaxing experience. It was May 26th.
Yeah.
I called up and talked to the head barber who booked me many days in advance. I went in there to see my barber, Enzo. Very happy to see me.
Enzo.
He only spoke Italian. I had no idea what was going on. So
he's a stickler for detail. He's very regimented. Talk about regimentation.
Oh, extremely. So what they do is, they have the mask on. They've got the gloves. I had the mask on. You have to keep the mask on the whole time, of course, as they do.
How do they trim your goatee?
They don't do goatee.
No hot shaving?
No shave. No hot shave.
You gotta love the hot towel, though.
I love the hot towel. In fact, our friend the Hugh, when he was in Italy, he got. And maybe we'll put the pictures up at some point. He had the full. Like three. First of all, he's bald. I don't know what they did to him, but he was on the chair for an hour and a half.
He was probably glistening when he came off.
Totally glistening. Shave, and the razor cut. I don't even think there was a razor in the blade, but the Hugh enjoyed it. So
he just likes going through the motions because it gives him an experience that he otherwise would not have.
Very well said. And it was Italy, so. So anyway, they ensconce you in plastic.
Right.
There's basically none of you showing, except a little bit of the face and the hair. And there's not as much small talk, which is the best part about going to the barber, right? Well, you want to catch up on the latest
in my case, I'm generally relatively silent. I don't really go, too often. But lately, I'm having my domestic partner work my, we got a little clipper, and she takes care of me.
It's pretty good. Now, you want to continue that? Are you ever going to go back to the barber again?
No, because I mean, look,
really?
I don't need to spend $1 really, when in fact I can get it done at home, and really the result is negligible in terms of the difference.
Oh, it's negligible. All right. So anyway, it was a good experience though. And, they didn't raise their prices, which is good. And so I tipped him basically for the lost times I would have gone, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I think it's very nice and generous.
He really appreciated it.
The people. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good experience, so.
Yeah.
And I like going there for the social aspect.
Right. It's kind of like when you stop at your local, saloon for a nice cold draft at the end of the day, and you have a little, a little community time.
Right, where you can have 2 beers, an appetizer, maybe a small bowl of soup for $47.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
And then you go home starving, and you have some mac and cheese, and you're all set for the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we get to you, that's happened. There's some local establishments I go to, and to cut back a little bit, I'll have that. I'll have an appetizer, a bowl of soup, a beer, maybe 2, and then I'll go across the street and have 3 slices of pizza. So it all levels out. You don't
It does
spend
level out, and you're spreading it around too. It's not just putting all your eggs in one basket. You have many baskets.
a lot of baskets. We had no Easter, but we have a lot of baskets left over from
That's
that
true.
Easter.
That's true.
So what's going on with you? What else is happening?
Well,
Tell me about your situation. You have new people moving in, people running around your condo. What's going on? No
so
masks.
actually, very positive on that front, to be frank.
Lay it on me, String Bean.
So as you know, I live in a triple decker, and well, it's really 3 condos in one building.
Actually, I heard there used to be another floor, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So we do have balconies, but it's really not the traditional triple decker.
Yeah.
So we live on the 3rd floor. We have two neighbors. The first floor, they moved out, sold their unit. New people coming in. We met the new people, and very friendly, very nice. Except they're doing a little bit of construction this month before they move in July 1st.
Yeah.
They're tearing up the floors, and as they tear up the floors, my pipes are clanging.
Your what?
You can believe it. My pipes.
Your pipes?
My radiator is like clanging because when they tear up the floorboards that are near the radiator, the sound travels all the way up to the 3rd floor, and it's like someone's banging on my pipes.
Wow, I hate it when people bang on your pipes.
I really don't like that. But you know what? I called him, and he was very apologetic.
Really? That's good.
So nice that I said, you know what? You seem like you're going to be a really nice neighbor. I tell you what, he's going to have a brand new barbecue. Make me a burger, and we'll call it even.
I like that. If you can get food out of it,
I figure I'm not going to really get anything, so I might as well get a meal.
It's nice if you give them a little bottle of wine with like a little gift bag or something to lay the groundwork.
You mean to welcome them to the community?
Yeah. In fact, why don't you just grab one of the bottles of wine that I gave you that you never use?
I think I already gave that to another vendor.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
You re-gifted my wine again. That's great.
Yeah.
And
then we have these 3 graduate students that have moved in.
Yeah.
And I've only met one so far, but so far so good. Very friendly, very nice.
That's good. You need good people.
Yeah. So it seems like we're going to get an upgrade, which we're happy about.
Well deserved, I might add.
Yeah. But I want to tell you about, as you know, I surf the web quite a bit, and I came across an opportunity for you and I to host WGBH classical music station as fill-ins. The only catch is we have to be available within 15 minutes notice at any time, and we have to be classical music fans. Otherwise, no experience is required. So I thought this would be perfect for us.
That's perfect for us. All our lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We've been what?
With no experience.
Right.
But we pretty much do nothing, so we can always get anywhere within 15 minutes.
Exactly. Even in the middle of the night, if something comes up, we're available.
You want some hummus and pita? 15 minutes, I'll have it for you. All right?
I know.
That's how confident I am. I can do anything within 15 minutes.
So I
I
spent the entire week really. So I was listening to classical music on XM radio all week long. Every time I'd walk in, I'd plug it in. I'm cleaning the kitchen. I'm cooking dinner. I'm doing all my chores. I'm checking boxes. I'm listening to classical music. I'm really getting immersed. Vivaldi, Beethoven, Bach. Let's not forget Mozart. Let's not forget Tchaikovsky. We've got them all. They're all fantastic.
What about Rachmaninoff?
Rachmaninoff. And don't forget his brother, Pazamaninoff.
Right, Mazel Tov-enough.
Well, that's really his dog, Pazamaninoff. And all the spectacular music, really, from the 16th, 17th, and 18th century, I think early 19th. And I don't think a classical musical song has been written since.
Really?
Yeah, well, later in the show, which it's almost later in the show, we're going to do a little bit of a classical musical trivia contest. I put one together for you especially, because if you're going to host with me, you have to get a little bit of knowledge on, the world in which they live.
Right. Those shows usually involve somebody with background, even a slight background in classical music.
Well, yes, but I figure we can fake it till we make it.
That's what we're doing. We're in season 4. We're fooling a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Prejudice.
First of all, we have hosting experience, right?
Of course we do. We're safe as kittens, believe me.
Exactly. Yeah. And we like music, not necessarily classical music, but Roll Over Beethoven. That's a great song.
Great song.
Yeah.
And it bridged the gap between the classical music, quote, snobs of the day to the, since the Beatles and Chuck Berry. Did Chuck Berry write that?
Chuck Berry did write that. That's one of my questions that's coming up later in the show.
It just popped into my head. But it helped bridge the gap and illuminate the youngsters, the then millennials of their time in the early to mid-'60s, to classical music and stuff.
And don't forget that song Amadeus by Falco. That's a fantastic classical song.
Right. And after that, Amadeus's record sales went up 18 to 22% for a year.
Is that true, or are you just making that up?
No, it sounds good, though. You should have just gone with it.
See, as a host, that would be a perfect anecdote to pop right in.
Yeah. Like George Costanza used to say, it's not a lie if you believe it. And I think we should go by that motto.
Absolutely. You got it.
Let me ask you this. As a kid, was there any piece of classical music that stood out for you, and for what reason, if so?
How about yes, because my mother was a piano teacher.
Oh, right. Okay.
And there was a song called Fur Elise. And I'm pretty sure.
Yep, I know it well.
Yes. Yeah. And my mother used to play. My mother could play by ear.
That's a beautiful song, actually.
I know. She was a very gifted musician, my mother.
Wow. Did she ever record anything, though? Do you have anything on tape?
No, but she did tour. She and another woman, they did nightclub gigs.
Really?
Yeah, her name was Nettie. This other woman, and my mother was Judy, and they would do, like they do like temple gigs.
The temple gigs are okay. Don't knock the temple gigs.
No, temple gigs are fantastic. Are you kidding me?
It's usually a tough crowd, so if you can get behind a temple gig,
that's right.
You've
but
got
usually there's a good nosh there, so there's always something for everybody.
Of course there is. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, for me it was do you know the Canon by Pachelbel?
Well, I love that song. That's a spectacular song.
It's classical, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's like it's actually one of my favorite songs, even though it's played at every wedding.
Every wedding, bar mitzvah, maybe bar mitzvahs, I don't know.
It's pretty much a wedding tune.
Yeah. It's got a very lovely cadence.
It really kind of fills you with something. What, I'm not sure.
Yeah. It shows that
is one of my favorites also. Yeah.
About what, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about how you've been sewing masks in your quote unquote sweatshop for a profit?
Yeah, I've been working on the same mask for about 4 weeks now, and it's turned into a sock or something. It's not really working, so I just bought it.
All right. Maybe you can become a sock puppet.
A sock puppet. Yeah. No masks, but if you ever want to put on a puppet show at my place, I've got like 30 sock puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of your barber visit, I, on Friday, myself have an acupuncture visit scheduled.
Wow.
For the first time since the coronavirus.
There's a lot of holes in your story, but go ahead.
Well, needless to say, I'm hoping for a very, I'm hoping they scrub the joint, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you're afraid to go out without being in a hazmat suit, yet you're not afraid to lie down at the table with a stranger poking you full of potentially contaminated needles.
But she does have OCD before the coronavirus, so I know she'll be extra clean because she walks around. She wears gloves, before the coronavirus, so she's precautious.
Precocious or precautious? What does precocious mean?
Precocious means you're a little bit, a little bit. You're pushing the envelope.
All right. I just know it was part of
for example.
Yeah, it was part of the Kim Carnes song, Betty Davis Eyes. That the word was probably the only pop song that had the word precocious in it.
It's probably true. And by the way, what was that song called?
Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes.
Did you know that I am very one of my many? As you know, I have many professionals that in my in my Rolodex. People I call on when I run into trouble.
Yeah.
And my lawyer is Betty Davis's son.
Oh, you told me that. Tell me more about that. That's pretty interesting, actually.
Right. I'm not going to give out his name because he may not want to necessarily advertise. He's a spectacular real estate lawyer.
Yeah.
He's, because Betty Davis, I think she married a man from either Connecticut or Boston or, from this part of the country.
Yeah.
And so I think she had more than one husband. So through this one husband, out came a son, and maybe I think they had a daughter as well. And and quite frankly, he has Betty Davis eyes. I think they're like blue, like hers, with hers blue.
Yeah. Are they not? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think they are.
You know what we wanted to talk about a little bit?
Yeah.
Didn't we want to talk about how my brother Jeff has a quasi PPE program going on where he's supposed to be socially distancing himself from society. And in fact, he is, but I think he's been crossing the line just a hair. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he sometimes overdoes it. You know, what I know about him is that he's kind of, he knows the underground scene. You know, he's like, he's always 5 places at once. You know, you never know. He stays out all night.
He goes to roof deck parties. He's carousing, you know, with, you know, the underbelly of society.
Yeah.
No, not really.
They have an underbelly in the Brookline area?
More the overbelly. No, he's pretty much, he's got his little posse. I think what he's doing is this new concept called the bubble pack. You familiar with the bubble pack?
Not. Oh, yeah. Tell me if this is semi-correct.
Yeah.
Is it a bubble pack or something else pack? But
it may not be a bubble pack, but it's kind of like your own. They call it your own personal bubble, where you collect a group of people. Like perhaps you and I could consider this, and maybe 1 or 2 others, the Hugh. But you have to only do it with people that you feel very confidently are not, you know, over carousing in society.
What about your friends at the bathhouse? Are they out?
They're out.
Out?
But your protester friends, you know, that you're out now.
Yeah, let me tell you briefly if we have time.
Yeah, we do have time.
God rest his soul, and where everybody's caught up in the emotion of the situation here, understandably. And remember how I talked to you about, I actually said, I could be a little bit lazy when it comes to protest and such, but I half jokingly said, you know, if the protest came to me, you know, I'd participate. It's a good cause.
Yeah,
obviously.
Right.
And,
well, you don't really like to leave your neighborhood. That's number one.
Right, but this worked out perfectly because I get a chance to protest for about 10 minutes legitimately, which I wanted to do. I was sitting on a park bench on Langdon Street in Cambridge, minding my own business and enjoying a quality cigar, actually. And I know there was a protest in Central Square, a big protest. This was last Sunday, I think. So anyway, I'm sitting on the bench, and I could hear murmurs, I could hear music and people chanting and singing and such. And then I heard the protest come down Mass Ave. So outside of Central Square, sort of toward Harvard Square. And I said to myself, you know, this is maybe a quarter of a mile away. I said, that'd be kind of funny if they just took a turn, came right down this little street that I was on, and I could participate. I swear to God, hand to God.
Let me just ask this question. Was it kind of like the band in Animal House when the conductor kind of brought them down that narrow street and everything got out of control?
It was a narrow street, but now I know why the protesters came down that street. But anyway, they took a drastic left turn as they were going to Porter Square, and they used Langdon Street as the turnaround street to go back to Mass Ave and then back to Central Square. But for a moment, you know, I was ensconced. The protest literally came to where I was, and I got a chance to participate, got flyers, and but it was very loud but very peaceful. So they did a really nice job.
Did you have a mask? Did you keep your distance? How did that go?
I did, yeah. Fortunately, there was a long driveway across the street from me in a neighbor's house, so I went there and hung out with the neighbor and the neighbor's daughter, and we watched and we kind of participated. So I felt good, you know.
Did you know these neighbors?
Yeah, I don't really know them super well, but they see me hanging out reading on the park bench and stuff. So they kind of know me. It's a nice neighborhood, but so leave it to me to, in a very lazy fashion, you know,
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, you did your part.
I did, but I should have made more of an effort to get out there. But hey, I was part of it for a few minutes. So anyway, that was good. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask 1 or 2 classical musical trivia questions, and then, believe it or not, it'll be time to sign off, if you can believe it.
Wow, already?
Absolutely. It's 5:54. We've got 3 minutes. So, we've been talking about Mozart. At what age did Mozart start composing music?
Well, I know he died young, right? So it had to be very young. I say his teens. Am I right? Is it in the teens?
Actually, age 5.
Come on.
I swear to God. And he needed his father's help. You know why?
Because the piano bench was too low?
No, he wasn't strong enough to lift the pencil.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
He had to have his father help him with the writing. But he had the composition in his head.
What kind of pencils did they have in those days? Huge?
You know, I think it might have been a quill.
It got to be a quill pen, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's another topic, but it'd be kind of great if we went back to the quill pens.
You think so?
Imagine you doing recruiting with with a quill pen, taking notes.
I do use a a rolling writer. You know.
Those are nice.
Kind of like a quill. They give a nice little flavor to the you know. And of all instruments, there was one instrument that he hated. Can you name that one instrument?
Not the piano. Was it a woodwind or
it's in the brass family?
A brass family.
Yeah.
A trumpet.
He hated
or
the
horn.
trumpet. Yes.
Trumpet?
Yes, and it's actually, there is no evidence of him ever composing one piece of music. And by the way, he composed over 600 pieces of music.
Wow.
And that included stage opera works, masses, symphonies, piano concertos, violin concertos, sonatas, quartets. He did it all.
What's the difference between a sonata?
That included a trumpet.
Wow, no trumpet.
No trumpet.
So what's the difference between like a sonata and a symphony?
I think a sonata has Bryson Beans, and a symphony is strictly tambourine.
Really? Okay.
I mean, timpani.
That's pretty
well,
hip.
Guess what, Raymond? Yeah, I think it's time to storm the castle.
Everybody, thank you for joining us and enjoying putting up with our banter for the last 27 minutes. Like Junior said, have fun storming the castle. We'll see you when? A couple weeks, maybe?
I think 4 weeks. We're going to do it every 4 weeks. And
maybe
next
3.
we're going to have Vinny Boom Bots, the boxer, also silent film star, on our next show, we're hoping.
We're hoping.
Our show in season 3, and he does plan to make a return.
All right. Sounds good, everybody.
Yep. Have fun storming the castle, everybody.
Let's rustle some papers, pretend we're busy.
Okay. Nice.
Bye.
Yeah, so, I think the show was pretty good. The lighting wasn't perfect, but, here we are. And